For those who serve in the armed forces or ensure the security of a certain place, the commitment to their country often separates them from their families for long periods. While they are on the battlefield or in remote missions, the emotional bond with those left behind is what keeps them going. However, coming back home is not always how one imagines, and betrayal can be discovered at a very uncomfortable moment. These are the moments of infidelity caught red-handed that you will watch today. Imagine spending weeks or even months away serving your country in the army and finding out that while you were gone, your wife decided to be unfaithful. It must be an awful feeling, and upon discovering it, a military man took a rather unusual action. Serving in the United States Army during a training that required him to be away for some time, a soldier discovered, through friends, that his wife was having an affair with another guy while he was gone. He had access to photos, messages, and it was more than proven that she really was cheating. So he decided to do something very cold to her. He arrived home from training and said he had a surprise for her. Then she was blindfolded, and he placed some signs in her hands so she would reveal what was written on them, only discovering at the end what it actually was. Expecting a gift or something cheerful, she was obviously shocked when she saw that the signs described her betrayal. Stunned, she goes into shock, and the husband makes sure to expose everything on video. To wrap it up, the husband appears at the end holding a paper that says divorce, making it clear that they would not continue together after what she had done. A police officer working the night shift had a very unpleasant discovery when he stopped a car and was surprised by who was inside, someone who clearly should not have been there. When he noticed a vehicle on a road going above the speed limit, the officer, who was patrolling in his cruiser, approached and ordered the driver to pull over, initiating a stop. Stepping out of the cruiser and approaching the vehicle, the officer realized that, besides the driver, there was someone in the passenger seat, a woman, which seemed normal, but she was not just anyone. She was his own wife. That is correct. He discovered his wife's infidelity while he was on duty. Unable to believe what he was seeing, he tells them both to get out of the car, explains to the driver that this was his wife, and the man says he did not know she was in a relationship. After checking that there was nothing illegal about the vehicle, the officer lets the driver go. Meanwhile, the wife tries to explain herself, and the relationship most likely came to an end. A man who was having an affair with a soldier's wife decided to wait for the husband to arrive home after being away for some time, so he could confront him alongside the wife and reveal that the husband was being cheated on. When he finds the couple, he records everything and states that he was having an affair with the soldier's wife. The man apparently stands there in shock, silent, and without much reaction, while the wife hugs him and tries to deny the story. It seems the soldier did not want to believe it, or preferred to ignore it, even if it was true, and so he starts to insult the other man, who answers back saying he should not believe her. You can see on the soldier's face that deep down he knows he was being betrayed but chose not to show anything in that moment.
You know what I'm saying? Ain't swole, little ass nigga. Say bye. Say bye. Say bye, little toy soldier. You a pussy, and I want you to know you a pussy.
The video was shared by the very man involved. According to rumors that spread on the internet, the suspicious husband decided to investigate further and ended up confirming that, indeed, his wife had stepped out on him. Hence, he ended the relationship. A detective, suspicious that his wife was cheating on him while he was at work, decided to look into what she was doing during his absence and found exactly what he already suspected. Discreetly following his wife's steps, he discovered that she was in a penthouse with a man facing the beach in Copacabana, in Rio de Janeiro, in Brazil. Once he arrived, he managed to get inside and caught his wife not only with the lover, but also using drugs. In the video, he makes it very clear that the woman was accompanying the lover in purchasing illegal substances and using them with him in his apartment. Angry, she does not seem to care much, insults him, and asks if he really wants to stay with her. The situation is truly unpleasant.
Quando você vai me ter de novo?
Porque você só quer saber da sai.
Sai. Mais.
Sai.
Nunca mais.
The detective also makes it clear that the video would be used against her in court, since he was going to file for divorce, and probably try to use the recording as proof in order to get custody of their children. In one of the episodes of the American show Paternity Court, a veteran of the United States Army finds out that his wife was unfaithful while he was serving in Afghanistan, and he starts to question the paternity of his daughter. During the episode, the veteran expresses his pain and distrust regarding his wife's fidelity and the child's paternity, as he discovered the betrayal while serving in the Army and had to stay far away from home for a long time. Despite finding out, he chose to stay with his wife, who showed remorse. But first, he needed to be sure if the daughter was indeed his or not. Judge Lauren Lake presides over the case, listening to both sides and analyzing the evidence. In the end, the DNA test results are revealed, confirming that despite the betrayal, the veteran was the biological father of the little girl.
Mr. Threkel, you are Liliana's father.
The result brought great relief to the veteran, who decided to face the challenge of rebuilding trust in the relationship and strengthening family ties. Once again, a military man who returned home already aware of what his wife had done while he was gone decided to prepare, let's say, a little surprise for her. Very similar to what we saw before. The wife is blindfolded, headphones with loud music are placed on her, and with their child next to her, the military man appears in the recording revealing everything that the wife did while he was away. Besides cheating on him, she apparently did it with her own stepfather. And to make matters worse, the child she was expecting was the stepfather's, not his. Outraged, he removes her blindfold, and she is surprised to see him, thinking that was the entire surprise. But he immediately steps away, prevents her from hugging him, and reveals what was really going on. The wife becomes desperate and tries to justify herself while the son seems to be crying over the situation.
John was there for us. You were not. He took care of him. He took care of me.
It's his grandfather. Are you crazy?
Angry, he announces that he is going to file for divorce, that he discovered everything, including the fact that the child was not his. The video was shared online, and although many people agree with the divorce, they felt the child's presence in that moment was unnecessary. An American soldier who had been away from home for quite a long time serving in his country's army managed to come back right on his wife's birthday hoping to surprise her, but he is the one who gets the real shock. During the surprise party prepared by a friend who was filming, the husband arrives and stays in the background, hidden, holding a small sign announcing that he was back home. The wife, unaware of his presence, starts chatting with the friend and ends up revealing some things her husband certainly would not want to hear. Among them, she says she loved spending the night with the friend and even shows an intimate piece of clothing she got just to be with him. It is quite clear that she was indeed cheating on the soldier with someone who was supposed to be merely a friend of the couple, and obviously the husband becomes very upset and angry.
More sense.
Babe, you're home!
Yeah, Herman, what was going on with that?
Oh, he's just a friend. He's just my friend.
What do you mean he's better at night? You've been hanging out at night.
The friend, who intended to be part of the surprise, did not imagine that his buddy's wife, whom he was secretly seeing, would start talking about such revealing and intimate matters right then, accidentally exposing the entire situation. When she notices her husband, she is startled and tries to explain, saying the man was just a friend, but the husband understands everything very clearly. A video recorded during American military training shows the moment a soldier reveals to his comrades his recent and unfortunate discovery involving his relationship. In the soldier's sincere account, you can see him explaining that he found out, not long ago, that his wife was having an extramarital affair during the times he was away serving in the army. When he discovered the betrayal, he confronted his wife and asked why she did it, especially since they had big plans for the future.
I just don't understand. I don't understand. He's 28. He's a bum. Why does she want him but not me? I don't understand. I got good grades. I got a future.
Confronted by her husband, the wife admitted her mistake and tried to justify herself, asking for forgiveness, but the soldier decided to move on alone. Spending months away from home and from one's wife already seems quite painful, but imagine arriving and finding another man, wearing only a towel, in your house with your wife. That is exactly what happened to this military man, who, while trying to surprise his wife by coming home, was instead surprised by another man, in this case, the lover, who answered the door in his very own home wearing only a towel. When he saw it, he was in shock. Then, since the lover did not realize who he was dealing with, he even confronted him, and so the military man reveals that this is his house. The wife soon appears, desperate, not knowing what to do, because the lover also seemed unaware that she was married, creating complete chaos. She tries to justify herself, saying she expected him to be away for 2 years and that she could not wait that long. The husband, however, replies that she never complained nor talked about it before, so he decides to leave. In the end, she is left with no one. Ronan Menezes do Rego, a former military police officer from the Federal District in Brazil, was convicted of the femicide of his ex-girlfriend, Jessica Leonara da Silva Souza, 25 years old, which occurred on the 4th of May of 2018 in Ceilândia in Brazil. The femicide committed by Ronan was primarily motivated by jealousy and the feeling of betrayal. According to information presented during the trial and details from the investigation, Ronan did not accept the end of the relationship with Jessica. Furthermore, he was obsessed with the idea that she was seeing someone someone new, the personal trainer Pedro Henrique da Silva Torres. The crime took place in Jessica's home, in front of her family members. After the murder, Ronan also attempted to kill the personal trainer, shooting him 3 times. In August of 2019, Ronan gave an interview to journalist Roberto Cabrini on the program Conexão Reporter, speaking for the first time about the crime and explaining all the motivation and rage that overtook him on that fateful day.
Pra ir embora, sair da vida dela. Aí estava muito nervoso e eu dei o chifre.
Initially, in April of 2019, Ronan was sentenced to 21 years, 9 months, and 10 days in prison. Later, in February of 2020, the sentence increased to 36 years and 8 months in a closed regime, plus 1 month and 26 days in an open regime. A military man who also found out about his wife's betrayal decided to plan a revenge that was shared on social media, drawing everyone's attention. In the footage, you can see the girlfriend playing hangman, while a man, said to be a friend of the couple, is recording everything. In the game, she has to figure out a phrase, and little by little the letters appear until she reads something calling her a cheater and telling her to turn around. When she turns, there is her boyfriend holding a sign that reads, "Traitor." She panics, clearly in shock, because she never expected all of that to be staged as a way to expose her. He had discovered her affair with the help of friends who warned him that she was going out with another man and bringing him to their own home while he served abroad in the army. 38-year-old Crystal Perez, a night dispatcher for the Sheriff's Office of Bexar County in San Antonio, Texas, in the United States, was placed on unpaid administrative leave after her husband, Giancarlo Perez, found sexually explicit messages on her phone, indicating she had been cheating with several lovers. Those messages involved 7 police officers in the region. Giancarlo, Crystal's husband, discovered explicit conversations between her and the officers, describing it as distressing and unbelievable. The messages contained explicit language and plans for intimate encounters. The county sheriff, identified as Salazar, emphasized that although the employees deny having committed improper acts while on duty, the evidence suggests otherwise. He stated that the conduct described undermines public trust and will not be tolerated. All involved were removed from their duties while the matter is investigated. The case is under appeal, and the final decisions on the dismissals proposed by the sheriff are still pending. And once again, a police officer on duty did not get good news when making a traffic stop and discovering that he was being cheated on while working. Footage from the cruiser's internal camera shows the moment the officer stops a suspicious vehicle and asks both the driver and a woman in the passenger seat to get out of the car. As she steps out of the vehicle, it is clear that the woman tries to hide in the shadows, but the officer quickly moves closer and discovers that, yes, it was his wife who was out with another man, cheating on him.
Faz tempo que você tá junto com essa moça? Você sabe que essa moça aí, ela é minha mulher?
The lover seems unaware that she was married, becomes very upset, and leaves her there. She tries to explain herself and justify her behavior to the officer, who does not want much conversation, and presumably ended the relationship. Subscribe to the channel for more videos like this.